up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharp, and welcome to this edition of the Top Block Sports Talk. I, of course, am joined by my two partners in crime, Jay Blaze and Miami Jay. How are we doing tonight, gentlemen?
Doing well.
Uh-oh, is Joel frozen?
I think he froze.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm back.
Dude, now you're crystal clear. Holy shit. Okay, I don't know. Whatever you did, do it again. So today we have a...
Ooh.
Oh, boy. What happened? Now I can't hear anything. Let me see. No, not Micah.
You got me now?
Kind of. Well, you were crystal clear there for a second, but now, now you're still frozen. We do it live, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. All right, cool. All right, yeah, drop out. All right, cool. REI 12 Figures says, is Micah really back in Dallas? No. Micah Parsons is returning to Dallas because of the game tomorrow. And I guess while we wait on Miami J to get his computer situation straightened out, let's go ahead and talk about that, man. So what are your thoughts, Jay Blaze? Obviously, you are you're the resident Cowboys fan / Cowboys hater. What are your thoughts on Micah Parsons?
The Cowboys are a horrible team. Like they made Russell Wilson back into Hall of Fame Russ.
Yes,
and, like that is very hard to do, and their defense is terrible. And I think Micah is going to have a field day because that is the best defense in football.
Now that I agree with. Green Bay's defense is absolutely hellified, and even though they lost to the Browns, that was an indictment of their offense rather than their defense. I just think they came out flat. I think the Green Bay Packers, they did the job on defense. They held the Browns to 13 points. Unfortunately, the Browns defense, which is probably as good as the Packer defense, held them to 10 points.
Yeah.
What do you think? Now here's the thing. Here's my take on the whole Micah Parsons situation. I actually think both teams won in this particular situation, and the reason for that is because in a lot of cases, like I'll use the Shaq and Kobe thing. This is something Cowherd talks about a lot. When the Lakers, there he is. When the Lakers initially chose to go with Shaquille, or when they initially chose to go with Kobe Bryant, the younger, more focused, the more hungry player, they kind of had to eat shit for a while because remember, Shaq won a championship first. He won that championship in Miami, but then a few years later, Kobe won too. So the Heat and the Lakers both won the trade. Where I juxtapose that with Dallas and Green Bay is I think the Packers won the trade. I think the Cowboys did too. I think they got a shitload of draft capital, and that gives them flexibility. The Packers didn't need anything else. Like, oh my God, you gave up way too much for Micah Parsons. What else did the Packers need? All they needed was a game-breaking defensive player, and they got one. Oh, where did he go?
Am I back? You guys got me?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear.
Oh, hey. Yeah, dude, I think they both won the trade because I think the Cowboys they're nowhere near as ready to take that next step. But the problem is I had an issue with them trading him to the Packers. But, I think it will work out in Dallas' favor in a few years. But right now you're eating absolute
crow. Yeah, you're definitely going to eat some crow. What do you think of the trade? And I know we've talked about this before, Joel, but I think both teams won the trade. I think Green Bay won the trade because they got the missing piece. Like Micah going to Green Bay to me is akin to, in some ways, Saquon coming to Philadelphia. We had everything in place. All we needed was that superstar running back. And you saw it happening. Rushed for over 2,000 yards. We dominated the Super Bowl, won the East, and all that other kind of stuff. I think the same could be true here for Green Bay. But for all of us who are trashing Jerry today, I don't think, assuming Jerry lives, I think Jerry actually did a really good job. And I'll tell you something else too. I think Jerry should have traded all three players. I think he should have traded Micah, Dak, and CD. 1 out of 3 ain't bad. Where's your head at on this?
I completely agree. I think Dallas didn't win as much as Green Bay. Green Bay, I think Micah was the missing piece, the missing link there. And I think they're squarely in the Super Bowl contender
Absolutely.
category.
Absolutely.
Dallas, I agree. They needed to trade all three for the last year and a half.
Yep.
So, at least to see the first piece go in that direction, I think it's a good sign for them. I think right now, for example, as much as we bash on the Cowboys, I think the Cowboys' future is far brighter than the Dolphins, for example.
Oh God, had to bring up the Dolphins. Let us seamlessly transition. Let us seamlessly transition into the soccer minute here. So this is the lineup, presumably for the next few matches here. Explain what we're looking at here.
All right. So what we're looking at, I wanted to make it really simple because I was talking about before the South Korea Japan window that we played this month, how there's all this roster experimentation and all these things that Pochettino's doing. He said that October was going to be the A roster.
Right.
So barring injury, and I'll go through a couple of the players here. Barring injury, this is the roster we need to see. Okay. So let's go from top to bottom. Pulisic, healthy. Haji Wright's his backup. That's how I have it. I have the player
got it.
And their backup. And actually, I think this should be the World Cup roster, by the way.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So we start with Pulisic, and his backup is Haji Wright.
Okay.
Actually, hang on. Let me preface that with the one good thing that came out of the Japan-South Korea camp is that, especially in the Japan game, but even the second half of the South Korea game, Pochettino finally seemed to have found his formation. Okay. And that's playing with 3 in the back instead of 4.
Okay? Okay. So this is the formation that Pochettino. Okay, so he's got 3 in the back instead of the 4, and it looks like Gio Reyna is he gonna be the striker here?
No, he's gonna be the number 10, the central attacking midfield.
Got it. Okay.
Our 2 strikers here. Our main striker will be Balogun.
Right.
With Pulisic kind of drifting in behind and kind of playing that secondary role up there.
Okay.
Then you know Ricardo Pepi will be injured, so he won't be at the next camp, but he should be there at the World Cup.
Okay, perfect.
Right now in the depth chart, I think Tillman's above Reyna, mainly because Reyna hasn't gotten all that much playing time yet.
Right.
But even if Gio Reyna's not playing, I wouldn't leave him out of the World Cup roster.
Of course not.
No other player can do for us what Gio Reyna can do for us.
He's a freak, man.
I will take a 50% Gio Reyna over any other player in our pool.
Okay. All right.
For that position. Okay. Then we go, we got Adams there with his backup Cardozo, McKennie, and Musa making up the rest of the midfield. Then, so the 3 in the back, what it allows you to do, you're taking a midfielder out of it.
Okay. Right.
You're losing a midfielder, but what it allows you to do is get our 2 most talented players, Jedi Robinson and Serginho Dest, way higher up the field.
Very good. Excellent.
We can attack wider with an extra player in the box.
Okay. Okay. I like that.
The one mistake here that I made, Arvston, which is Robinson's backup.
Okay.
That should be Tim Weah. Right there.
Okay. So this right here should be Tim Weah.
Correct. Now, Tim Weah is not a natural left back or left winger. But let's say Anthony Robinson went down, the dumbest person could figure out that what you do at that point is you put Serginho Dest on the left and you plug Weah in right there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's it. Scally's there because he's very good defensively, and if you do need a more defensive posture, you can bring him in.
Okay.
And then you got your 6 center backs right there.
Okay, so you bring Scally. So Scally's the type of player that'll come in with 10 minutes left if you need like a spark, whatever the case may be.
Absolutely. Or if maybe we're playing an Argentina or one of these big teams, and we're gonna bunker down and play on the counterattack, maybe you put Scally there, and at that point I actually switch Cardozo with McKennie. A couple things, but yeah, Scally's a more defensive right back than Dest.
Now, I remember Brendan Aronson actually had, obviously he's a good player. Obviously, otherwise we wouldn't be talking about it. But he had his struggles defensively. Am I right? Like he really
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, Brendan Aronson is, bless his heart, he was at the last World Cup. He was very good for us.
Yeah, he was.
But he's become a very ineffective player.
Okay.
You don't see a lot of goals or assists from him, but he's somebody who's going to put in a shift, do the work, and if you need to close down or create chaos on the field, that's the guy.
That's your guy. Okay, very good. Here's my next. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say. So on here we see 23 players. It's a 26-man roster.
Okay.
So those three names on the bottom, that's why I added those three there. Those three can be your extra midfield or attacking pieces. Jack McGlynn, he's got a wicked left foot, so I bring him just for that.
Okay, all right.
You need a goal late, you throw him in, hope you have him take some shots from outside the box. And then you have your three goalkeepers. Freeze and Turner are locks. They're going to be there.
Okay.
And the third goalkeeper doesn't really matter all that much, so I bring the young kid Diego Cochin out of Barcelona. He had to pull out of the under-20 World Cup because he's going to be the backup for Barcelona for the future.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
So that kid's a 19-year-old out of Miami. He's going to be a stud, but he's not quite ready yet for the World Cup level.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Gio Reyna has always, for as long as I followed American soccer, because I remember when his father, Claudio Reyna, played for Team USA. I remember him specifically back in the 2002 World Cup. Obviously, Gio Reyna, I think he's probably him, Balogun, and Pulisic. That's the holy trinity. I'd probably put Weston McKennie and Tyler Adams in there as well.
Yeah.
But I think Gio Reyna could be the quote-unquote straw that stirs the drink. I think if we are going to make a legitimate World Cup run that actually matters, I think Reyna's got to be on the team. So given his lack of playing time and his injury history, what do you think the odds that Gio Reyna is going to be on the U.S. World Cup roster, and how effective can he be?
Well, right now I put it at a 50-50. It all depends on how his season goes with his new club.
Okay, all right.
If he gets good playing time, you bring him. You know, I don't care even if he's not playing well, you bring him, because nobody can do what he can do. Now, I will say, I think our most important player is Christian Pulisic.
Really?
As Pulisic goes, so goes this team.
Okay.
And also, our most irreplaceable player is going to be Anthony Jedi Robinson.
Okay. All
Mainly
right.
because there's nobody else as good as he is on the left.
Okay.
You could put Serginho Dest there, but then you're losing a lot on the right. So Anthony Robinson's our most irreplaceable player.
Okay.
Christian Pulisic is our most important player.
Okay.
And Gio Reyna has the potential to be our best player.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. So let's just say, let's just run this scenario here. Assuming everybody's healthy, this is Pochettino's lineup, and everybody's healthy, Pochettino's lineup is here, and we play it. That was something's going on with the dogs down there. And let's just say we play as well as we did against Japan, who we fully expected to get absolutely dump trucked by. Yeah. What is a realistic expectation for this squad in this formation, assuming they're all healthy in the 2026 World Cup?
Well, let me put it this way. Japan, we played their B team. They literally benched every single one of their starters.
They did.
But let's say all the stars line up, and Gio Reyna's everybody's healthy, no injuries. Pochettino sees the light and goes with this formation, and everything goes right for us. Look, I don't see why we can't make a semifinal. I really don't.
Wow, a semi, dude. Do you know how exciting that is?
A lot of things have to go right for that to happen.
Sure, of course.
Obviously. Realistically, I think we're looking at quarterfinals, honestly. And that's if things go
still pretty lofty, isn't it?
It is, but like I said, we've done that before.
Okay. All right.
We've done it before. So the biggest accolade the U.S. has ever won at a World Cup was when Landon Donovan won the Young Player of the Tournament. That was in 2002.
Oh, wow! So he did play with with Claudio Reyna.
He did, yeah, he did. He was very young. Actually, Claudio Reyna is, I think, the one who assisted his goal against Mexico. I could be wrong.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, I mean, so that and a quarterfinal has been our best World Cup so far.
Okay.
This team needs to do something more.
Okay. So in terms of expectations, quarterfinal, that's the floor. Semifinal, that's the ceiling. Obviously, the dream is winning it all. But
yeah, of course. But the way things are looking right now, look, Argentina looks extremely strong. Spain,
as usual.
I don't see Spain making anything less than the final. I think Spain makes the final.
Wow.
They're looking really, really good. Brazil's always a favorite.
Sure.
Especially when they're not expected to do much.
Sure. Right.
Which is the case this year.
Isn't that interesting that you say that? I remember when they had back in '98 when they had Ronaldo, Rivaldo, and Junior Baiano, they were expected. Now they actually, I think they got to the final and ended up losing to Zidane in France, right? Yeah. But I remember, and that's actually a very good point. Brazil tends to do better in the World Cup when they're not expected to. They're sort of flying under the radar, just like they are this time. And listen, especially if they have games in Miami, there's going to be a lot of Brazilian fans in Miami and south of the border, especially when they're in Los Angeles and Phoenix and all that other and all that.
No, look, the Brazilian fans are some of the best traveling fans when it comes.
You better believe it. You better believe it.
They're gonna do. I think they're gonna do pretty well under Angelotti now, who's coaching them. Brazil, look, in '98, everybody thought they were gonna win it. They lost to France. In 2002, when
Italy.
In 02, when that team got maligned and they didn't think they would do anything, Brazil won the whole thing.
Oh, Italy won it in 06.
That's when Brazil came into 06 looking unstoppable. And they were thrashed again by Zinedine Zidane in France.
There you go. Very good. Who ended up losing to Italy in the World Cup final in 06. That was Luca Toni,
the famous headbutt.
Alessandro Del Piero, those guys. Okay, very good. Trinity Boy 32 says, I think the best team the U.S. had is when they played Germany that one year they had Tim Howard. I remember was that 2014?
I think he might be thinking of Belgium. That's the game that Tim Howard stood on his head.
Yes.
27 saves.
Oh my God.
But look, that's the thing. All the U.S. teams prior to this one, you can pick good things out of all of them. We haven't had a best team.
Sure.
That was a very well put together team. The thing is, what you knew about every U.S. team was that they were going to fight and they were going to make it hard to play against.
Yeah.
And that Belgian game was the perfect example.
It was tough. And we had a chance to tie the game late, man. We had a chance to tie the game late.
We had a chance to win that game. Wondolowski missed a wide open goal.
Yes!
In the 85th minute.
I watched that game from Buffalo Wild Wings, man. That was crazy.
I was at my parents' house and I lost my voice from screaming at the TV. I remember that game very well. That's one of those games that you can honestly say that you suffer through it.
Oh my God! I honestly thought we were going to pull that out, but
So and then last update in hopefully if you entered the pre-sale draw for the tickets, those announcements should be coming in October as well.
Okay, good.
We have the final draw will be in December in DC at the Kennedy Center, soon to be renamed the Trump Center. And then after December, we enter full World Cup mode, man.
Wow. It's interesting. I always say to Devin before every football season in America, it's like a 5-month holiday.
Yeah.
The World Cup is like a 1-year holiday for the world. It really is.
No,
it's like the pageantry, the pomp and circumstance, and then of course the actual tournament. I actually think they did a really good job in terms of the coverage that Fox did of the World Cup back in 23. Remember, they delayed it by a year because of COVID. That set was unbelievable. That set was beautiful. Oh, dude, the LED screens, the floor, that was insane. So
look, the American channels, ESPN really set the standard in 2010.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yeah.
They did a fantastic job. Then they killed it with Brazil. It was great. And Fox has just picked up that mantle and ran with it. The World Cup coverage really is fantastic.
Yeah. It really is a world event. It really is.
During that month, you're not going to see anything on Fox Sports or Fox Sports 1 besides the World Cup. It's going to be even Blaze up there in Maine is not going to be able to escape it. It's going to be
I wonder what's interesting. Before we move on, have you heard anything about the whereabouts of Sepp Blatter? Like, he literally disappeared off the face of the earth.
He took his millions. He's on a beach somewhere.
Yeah, dude, he is guilty of so many fucking crimes. It's ridiculous.
And look, Gianni Infantino is not looking much better right now. But
let's listen. Let's hope he can cover his tracks better than Blatter.
Seriously, because right now, every move he's making, it's so obvious that it's just for the money. They're talking about expanding the 2030 World Cup to 64 teams, which that's
hate. Stupid. That would be
way too much. That would be. It's already going to be in 6 countries instead of 3.
Sure.
And then
where is the World Cup going to be in 2030?
So 2030, most of the World Cup will happen in Spain, Portugal, and Morocco.
Wow,
but
that is going to be crazy.
It is, but since it's a centennial, they're also going to do the opening matches in Uruguay, Paraguay, and Argentina.
Oh, okay. So that's
a logistical nightmare for those teams. They're going to have to travel across the Atlantic. It's going to be crazy.
Oof. Well, let's
the only way that it really works with 64 teams though is if they do it like NCAA tournament style.
Yeah,
single
elimination. Yeah, single. Because with 64 teams, how many groups is that? That's like 22 groups.
That would be like no, it'd be like 16, I think. 16.
Oh, 16 times 4 is 60. Yeah. That's a lot of fuck. Well, I don't know. It's an extra 2 rounds, I guess.
No, because listen, you're gonna end up with these groups where you're gonna have Spain, New Caledonia, New Zealand, and Guatemala. You know, nobody wants to see that.
Right,
you know?
right.
The World Cup's supposed to be the most competitive space in soccer. And you don't want to see teams getting thrashed 11
you
and
nothing. You don't want to see Portugal versus like Estonia or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, Jesus.
You know, so
hashtag name 3 countries, right?
No, there you go.
All right.
What we got?
All right, let us move on to the NFL. The New York Giants, Brian Daboll and the New York Giants have announced that not only is Jackson Dart going to start this Sunday, which is tomorrow, they have named them the starter for the rest of the season. Now, we are going to talk about the Russell Wilson element of this. That's going to be our next topic. But, Jay Blaze, what are your thoughts about Jackson Dart getting his opportunity? Do you think this is a good thing? Do you think this is a mistake? Do you agree with the move or not?
The only thing I have an issue with, they should have started him against the Cowboys because the Cowboys one made it like a world beater. But dude, if you look at Russ, Russ just wants. He's with Sierra. They're in New York. He's going to all these events, and I think he's happy.
Yeah,
I would say Russ could go to Cincy, but I think Russ's image in the NFL is so tarnished. He needs to stay with the Giants and act like a good backup quarterback.
Okay. Miami J, what are your thoughts on Dart getting the start? Is it too soon, too late? I know I agree with Jay Blaze. The Cowboys, their defense is like Swiss cheese, but by the same token, Russ obviously struggled, and I don't know that how much preseason you watch, but dude, Jackson Dart, he outperformed Russell Wilson by a pretty sizable margin. That's why it was surprising to me that they started Dart. But then Jay Blaze says, "Hey, listen, man, Andrew Thomas is not going to start for the first couple of days, for the first couple of games. Stick Wilson back there, let him take all the hits and then bring in Dart to clean up the mess. Russ goes for 450 against Dallas, then he comes back down to earth. Is this too little too late for the Giants, or do you agree with the move?"
I definitely agree with the move. And, not to brag, but we all called it here in our preseason show. We said by week 3 or 4, Russ is done. I think it's for the Giants, give the kid a chance. He sat a few weeks, watched Russell Wilson try to do his thing. At least he's not being like Shedeur Sanders and trashing his other quarterbacks. So I say give him a shot.
Okay.
I love it. I think he's going to come in. I think he's going to do great.
Okay, I think he is too. Here's the $1 million question here, man. Is Russ cooked? I think the three of us, I don't know if we said this on a live or in our group chat, but I think this is the end of Russell Wilson's career as a starter. I think at this point, at his age, I think he's like 35, maybe 36 years old. I think at this age, I think it's pretty clear that he is probably never going to start for an NFL team again. That's my opinion. Jay Blaze, agree or disagree?
Yeah, I would agree unless it's a spot start or because, dude, he's cringe. Richard Sherman is taking a pleasure in seeing him struggle now. Yeah. And you have the Bengals that need a QB, but I think Kirk Cousins works better in the Bengals.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. And they need a quarterback because Joe Burrow is a health risk.
Yeah.
And he ruined my fantasy season because I had him as my QB.
Yeah.
Well, that's on you, buddy.
Yeah, that's
he's like, hey, look, Miami J. Look, you are not going to get any sympathy from Miami J. By the way, I have too. If you want to work a trade, man, holler at your boy. Miami J. Miami J. What does the rest of Russ's career look like? I don't think, and I agree with Jay Blaze. I think a spot starter too. If he's a backup in Cincy, if somebody gets hurt, will he ever start? Will he ever be the full-time starter for another team again?
I don't see it. Maybe if there's like a transition season somewhere, let's say the Cowboys are ready to move on from Dak, but there's no good quarterbacks in the draft. Maybe they bring him in, something like that. Nothing set in stone, and obviously temporary.
Okay, all right.
I do think he's done. I think the more interesting thing is I was watching. I forgot if it was one of these ESPN shows where they sit there and talk, and they posed the question: who's a more deserving Hall of Famer? Russell Wilson or Eli Manning?
Oh, wow.
And they were talking about saying Russell Wilson was more deserving because while he was in
Seattle,
they, perennial playoff contenders,
Sure.
always favorites.
Yeah.
Russell dominated during those years.
he did. Went to
Unlike Eli Manning.
1-1.
Unlike Eli Manning. But I disagree wholeheartedly because, look, the hardest thing to do in football is win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The only thing that's harder is doing it as a wild card team. And Eli Manning did it twice.
Yep.
So I give it to Eli Manning hands down over Russell Wilson. I don't think it's even a debate.
Okay.
And yeah, I think Russell's done. I don't think we see him as a solidified starter in this league again. And I'm not sure he's going to make the Hall of Fame the way he fizzled out.
Dude, and look, James Sharp says Russell Wilson should have retired 3 years ago. You know what? I kind of agree because had he retired 3 years ago, I think he's probably a first ballot Hall of Famer. But at this point, Russell Wilson might get in. He might get into the Hall of Fame because of the Veterans Committee. But it's weird. It's weird to watch someone play themselves out of the Hall of Fame. But I think this is probably the first time we've ever seen it. Now, Russ might get to the Hall of Fame, but it's almost like he'll sort of stumble his way into the Hall of Fame rather than sort of, breaking the hey, here I am, I'm retiring on top, like a Ray Lewis or a Tom Brady or a John Elway or something like that.
I'd like to compare Russ to like Russell Westbrook, where when they're like in their element and they're physically gifted, dude. When Russ started to lose a step, his career went away, and that's going to happen to Kyler Murray. That's going to happen to these guys that aren't timing and rhythm QBs.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Their game
I think for Russ, I think he wants to stay in New York for Sierra because they can keep going to these events. And dude, he's still a backup. There's only 32 backups in the league.
Yeah.
So he's not taking the hits. He's going to these parties.
Yeah, and he's already
he's
made almost $300 million in his career, so he's set for life, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, look, Russell Wilson still carries around the kind of name recognition that he can go out and get himself a TV gig and get himself paid.
Totally agree. Totally.
I retired at the end of this season. Make Jackson Dart your legacy.
Yes.
Make it obvious that you're taking this kid under your wing and you're helping him out as much as you can. Make him your legacy and go off and do TV just like Tony Romo.
And dude,
go ahead.
Russ was dangerous when he was in his prime. He was dangerous, and he just lost a step. Like this is what happens when these physically gifted guys that just play by instinct. Like it's going to happen to Kyler Murray in a few years. It happens to all of them.
Rhythm passer, man. It's going to happen. It's going to happen to us all. It's going to happen to them all. But you have to, like, at some point, you have to learn how to be a pocket passer, just like you said, timing and rhythm.
And that's the problem with these shorter quarterbacks also, that
yes,
whether they're mobile or not, when you're a shorter quarterback, the only short quarterback I've seen have a beautiful career and is rightfully going to be in the Hall of Fame is Drew Brees. Okay. Other than that, I can't think.
That's a good one.
Doug Flutie, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, Doug Flutie is a very unique.
Yeah, even Doug Flutie relied on his scrambling ability till the very end. So he, even though he lost a step, he managed to stay in there. But once these, like he said, once these shorter mobile quarterbacks lose a step, it's a challenge for them.
Yeah, just like you said, Drew Brees is literally the outlier. Like you're like, dude, Drew Brees is what, 6 feet tall, if that?
Maybe. Yeah.
Well, he always played on his tippy toes.
Yep. Yeah. Now here's the thing: Drew Brees was a freaky athlete. To this day, he can still dunk a basketball. That shit ain't easy. By the same token, height absolutely does matter. And for whatever reason, I don't know how he was able to see over 6'3", 6'4", and 6'5" offensive linemen. He made a living doing it.
But that's the thing, though, right? Drew Brees was never a scrambler. So that like when he got the ball, that's not what he was thinking. He was used to standing back there on his tippy toes and throwing. These guys who are not used to standing on their tippy toes and just reading a defense and throwing the ball, they're used to scrambling. And when they lose a step, they lose that part of their game. And when they try to convert over to try to be the quarterback that Drew Brees was, they can't do it because even through college and high school, they've never played that way.
Right. I totally agree. No, I agree. Trinity Boy 32 says, I think Russ should get in before Eli because if you take away Eli's 2 rings, how many playoff games did Eli win compared to Russ? I'm sorry, that's a bad argument. You can't just say if you take away 2 rings, because you want to know why? Eli's 2 rings came at the expense of the greatest player in the history of the NFL.
And possibly the greatest team.
Dude, the 2007 Patriots may still be the greatest team we've ever seen.
Barring the 72 Dolphins.
Oh, well, the 72 Dolphins, yeah, they obviously won. It just proves that the best team doesn't always win. The Patriots were the better team, but the Giants were the better team on that day. Same thing in Super Bowl 46. The Patriots were the better team, but the Giants were the better team on that day. And it's interesting how Peyton and Eli were literally the opposite. Peyton dominated the regular season and shit the bed in the postseason. Even Peyton Manning's second Super Bowl, he was really just along for the ride. Remember, the MVP of Super Bowl 50 was not Peyton Manning, it was Von Miller. And never forget, the Broncos benched Peyton Manning for Brock Osweiler. Brock Osweiler was the quarterback. He got hurt, parlayed that into a 3-year, $72 million contract with the Texans. That never panned out. Peyton Manning comes in, they win Super Bowl 50. He retires, goes off into the sunset with his neck intact.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Dre Raven says, but do backup quarterbacks keep getting invited to these parties? That's a good point.
And they're next to Sierra, they do.
Yeah, Sierra does. That's the issue.
If you're with Sierra, you absolutely do. Let us go to probably one of the coolest stories that I can remember in quite a while. Guys, I cannot remember in my lifetime, and we bring this up almost every time we talk. We talk about Geno Smith. We talk about Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold most recently. As recently as 10, maybe 12 years ago, when a team was done with you, that was it. You were never going to be a starter again. Yet, Geno Smith revived his career in Seattle. Baker Mayfield revived his career in Tampa. And now Sam Darnold is in the first year of a 3-year, $100 million contract with the Seahawks after having taken the Vikings to a 14-3 season. They had the second best record in football. Now Darnold is doing his thing. Now here comes Daniel Jones. He goes to Indianapolis. He's cast aside. Anthony Richardson proves that he is a hell of a football player, just not a very good quarterback. And the Colts are 3-0, and they have one of the most prolific offenses in the NFL. Miami J, what are your thoughts on Jones's resurgence here in Indianapolis?
Well, I love watching it. So
it's crazy.
The talent was always there. We knew that. And, we talk about it often. We talked a lot about it when we talk about Brady and Belichick. Right. The situation for a quarterback and a coach has to be correct for both of them. I think he's found this guy in Shane Steichen, and I think Shane Steichen might be aligned for Coach of the Year so far.
He might be. Oh, good one.
Yeah. Daniel Jones found the situation perfect. He's so well surrounded by good tight end, good receivers, and a pretty good running back. What's his name?
Jonathan Taylor, man.
Yeah, he's kind of having a resurgence of his own.
Yes, he is.
So, yeah, I love watching it, man. The talent was always there. He just needed to find the right situation, and it looks like he found it in Indianapolis.
Good for him. Jay Blaze, what are your thoughts? Do you think now, and I know, listen, Daniel Jones for MVP, right? Look, I don't think is Daniel Jones in the MVP conversation as of right now here on the doorstep of week 4, in your opinion?
Right now, I think he's probably top 3 QB in the league right now. Okay. And think about how bad the Colts were last year. I think they were like a 500 team.
They were
800. And now they're 3-0. So if he continues at this pace, I think it helps him because he went over there and now they're a winning team. So I think it definitely helps them. And there's no QB other than Josh Allen that's really lighting it up, way far ahead of him.
Sure.
But I think Shane Steichen is helping because I think Daboll is a good coach, but he's old school. He's an old school coach.
He is.
So he needed a different type of offense.
Something that I find very, very interesting, just to sort of draw a parallel here. I think, and just speaking of Brian Daboll, I think Brian Daboll deserves to keep his job in New York no matter what happens. Joe Shane's got to go. Joe Shane, the general manager, has got to go because you now have 2 players that you cast aside. The player that you paid $140 million to, you end up casting him aside. He goes to Indianapolis. He's 3-0. Saquon Barkley, you decided to forego Saquon Barkley. What does he do? All he does is comes to Philly, rushes for 2,000 yards, wins a Super Bowl. So both players that Joe Schoen has now fumbled, sort of fumbled away, are now 6-0, while the Giants are 0-3. And looking at Jackson Dart, that right there, that to me, that is an indictment of the front office. I think Joe Schoen has got to go. If the Colts and the Eagles have already proven themselves. If the Colts continue to have the year that they are having, and the Giants, for whatever reason, they flounder with Jackson Dart, I think you got to give Daboll one more year, but Joe Schoen's got to go. I don't think there's any way you keep him.
I think Daboll's career hangs on Jackson Dart, and dude, I don't get how any of these GMs don't get that it's one in the trenches. You can't get a Saquon Barkley when your line's awful.
Right. I totally agree. I agree. Okay, guys.
I will say, sorry, speaking of other GMs that got to go, Jim Greer in Miami.
Yeah.
It's been too long. The man needs to go. Miami is the only team in the NFL to not. We haven't won a playoff game this century. We're the only team.
Oh my God. Oh, that is not good. Oh, that's not good at all. Oh my God. I did not realize
I didn't even know how to word that.
Yeah. Okay, guys, before we go to the next topic, hear me out. Just hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out.
I knew it.
Hear me out. Carson Wentz looked good against whatever. Right? He is now with Kevin O'Connell. Okay. And never forget, Carson Wentz's last year with Indianapolis as a full-time starter, he threw 27 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. They got his ass up out of town because he wet the bed against the Jaguars, and drug addict Jim Irsay decided, Carson Wentz. And now he's a backup. Guess what? His path is not unlike Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, even Geno Smith. And now he finds himself as the starting quarterback in Minnesota with Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, and TJ Hawkinson, and an offensive genius. They call Kevin O'Connell the tall Sean McVay. This is Carson Wentz's last chance to resurrect his career. Now here's the thing. He is the best backup quarterback in football. He's got the biggest arm. He can move, blah, 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 blah. Clearly he's a little bit older. I think he's like 32 now. But if ever there were a time for Carson Wentz to resurrect his career, you got to do it now. This is the last chance. Last year was Sam Darnold's last chance. He took the bull and he took the bull by the horns and he did it. I think this is Wentz's last opportunity. Miami J, your thoughts?
I agree that it's his last opportunity. I'd love to see how you would feel about him if he went to the Cowboys.
Yeah, that would not be good at all.
Exactly. But, then I think you might get a Cowboys jersey for the first time in your life.
No. That would be – no. Oh, my God.
I do agree. This is his last shot. Absolutely.
Christ. I had never even thought about that. That would literally be the equivalent of, like, Devin divorcing me and, like, going and getting with, I don't know, Francis Ngannou or some shit like that. Like, that would be fucked up. That would be fucked up. I can't imagine he ever goes to the Cowboys, man. That would be
no. I don't think so either. But his last shot, absolutely.
What are your thoughts, Jay Blaze?
So Geno Smith was also 32 when he had a resurgence.
Aha! There it is.
Yeah, and Carson Wentz always had the talent. I think he was a top 3 quarterback a couple years ago. His issue was he always played every single play like it was 4th down.
Oh my God!
Game on the line. And dude, just take the easy pass and just go on.
Oh my God!
Didn't he have like 2 messed up ankles, and he was still trying to play hero ball? I'm just like,
just
take a break, man.
And of course, he blew out his ACL against the Chargers in that fateful game in 2017, trying to scramble for a touchdown. Dude, you couldn't have put it any better. Towards the end in Philly, Carson Wentz played like every play was 4th and 26 with less than 2 minutes to go, team down by 4 with 1 timeout. Like, my guy, just take the layups. I think, and here's the thing, Sam Darnold was also very reckless with the football. He's a big athletic guy. What Kevin O'Connell did, he put his arms around him, he cleaned up all the mistakes, and now Sam Darnold is thriving with the now, I think, 3-1 Seattle Seahawks. And oh, by the way, that Seahawks defense might be one of the best defenses in football. I don't know if you guys watched the Arizona game. That defense is absolutely hellified. I don't know about Minnesota's defense, but I do know that they have talent on offense.
I will just say about Wentz, dude, I think he just loves football. Yeah. And dude, he plays every play like it's the last play, and if you can take that out of him, just give it to like a 50 to 70% instead of
Just dial it
120,
back. Dial it back.
120%. Dude, I think he can be like a good like top 10 starter.
I think he has the talent to be a top 10 starter at this point. He could probably look. Let's just say he has a year like Sam Darnold. Some other team signs him. I don't know who it would be. Give him 2 years, $60 million or whatever, sort of a prove it deal. I think his ceiling is probably a top 15 quarterback. He's got the talent to be a top 10 quarterback, but from the neck up, man, just like you said, like he has to understand it's not always 4th and 26. Sam Darnold was afflicted by the same malady, and Kevin O'Connell completely eliminated that. And plus, given the fact that J.J. McCarthy has played, 8 quarters of football, and 7 of those 8 quarters have been atrocious. Who knows? If Carson Wentz has a great year, maybe the next team that gives him a shot is the Minnesota Vikings. So stay tuned for that. But I still believe, goddammit, I still believe.
I will say, you guys brought up a couple things there. Sorry, you mentioned the Chargers, and I just thought about it. We were just talking about quarterbacks in the MVP conversation. How about Justin Herbert?
Yeah, listen. Hold that thought. We're going to talk about that in 2 topics because I've got.
And the last thing I'll say is Sam Darnold and the Seahawks are definitely for real.
Oh, they're absolutely.
Be careful with that too.
Yeah. Yes. I'm gonna tell you what, man. That is, dude. I watched them play. Now, listen. They dominated. They almost puked away the lead, right? Yeah. But they showed that resiliency. There was clear adversity. And I think what happened with Kyler Murray and them coming back, I think that was a lot of luck. Marvin Harrison and Kyler Murray are just not on the same page right now. It's actually kind of bad. But I agree with you. Watch out for the Seattle Seahawks, man. They could be very, very sneaky. They could be a very sneaky bad matchup for just about any team right now.
I'd be very interested to see how Marvin Harrison would do with a QB that could actually be a timing or everything QB.
He'd be very good. He'd be fantastic.
Yeah. I think his problem is Kyler Murray's his quarterback.
Yes,
I agree.
Hell yeah.
Look, Marvin Harrison Jr. has the talent to be a top five receiver in this league.
Easy. Absolutely. Yeah. That's why Jamar Chase popped, because his quarterback was Joe Burrow.
Yep.
There goes.
Yeah.
So, Caleb Williams, affectionately known in these parts as Caleb Williams. I still don't understand the fucking painted fingernails. It's absolutely fucking weird. However, he had his best game as a pro against the Cowboys this last Sunday. He looked fantastic. Like, it looked like every single drive was the first 15 of every game this season. Miami J, you have been the biggest detractor of Caleb Williams. I know it's one game. I know it's against Dallas, but dude, this is why Sunday's game was why they drafted him number 1 overall. For me, it was the perfect mix of playing on schedule and off schedule. Did Caleb Williams do enough to convince you that he could be a franchise quarterback?
No. A broken clock is right twice a day. I will say, and you said it yourself, I mean, and not to keep pounding on them, but it was Dallas. It was a Dallas defense. Right. How good are they? Not very. The talent's always been there. We know that.
Yes,
it's just not up here.
Right.
It's not up there. And, I was a backup quarterback my senior year of high school, and that was that. So I don't have probably the accolades to talk about quarterbacks, but I'm an observer of the game, and I called this well before
the draft.
When he cried to his mom at USC, I knew the guy just doesn't have it. He hasn't done enough for me. Maybe he'll prove me wrong, but one game out of 2 seasons now, almost.
Yeah.
Well, a season and a half, let's call it.
Yeah. Okay.
One game, no. He needs to show a lot more.
I agree.
Especially with the talent around him.
Oh my God, dude, that team is loaded, man. Jay Blaze, did Caleb Williams do enough to shed the moniker given by you, Caleb? Yes or no?
No. He played the worst defense in all the NFL, and will Wentz be the Bears quarterback next season?
Oh no, there's no way that's happening, is it?
Hey, look, you got to give these rookies 2 years.
Yeah, no, totally agree. If you start a rookie quarterback, give him until Thanksgiving in year 2, and you know what you've got.
Yep. I mean, especially these days, back in the Marino days when Peyton Manning was coming up.
Yep.
Sure, you give a talent like that
3
years. Andrew Luck maybe would have had that kind of leeway. these days, I say even Trevor Lawrence has got that kind of leeway because he came out of the draft probably as the most talented quarterback in the last 10 years.
Yep.
But these days, with these rookie quarterbacks that come in and are succeeding right away,
yep,
you give them 2 years. By the way, I think C.J. Stroud might be on that chopping block as well.
I think C.J. Stroud, and it's weird what's happening to the Texans. So C.J. Stroud in his first 2 seasons took the Texans to the divisional playoffs. I think this year is indicative of their lack of offensive line protection because remember, Laramie Tunsil, I actually learned from you about Laramie Tunsil going to Washington, but I think his offensive line is Swiss cheese and he's still dealing with a lot of injuries. But your running back is Nick Chubb, but I think what's beginning to happen is what probably should have happened last year. The sort of the sophomore jinx, and it's not really a sophomore jinx, is that the reason why backup quarterbacks look great immediately when they come into the game is because the team didn't prepare for that guy, right? Yeah. They didn't study film all week on the backup quarterback. They studied on the starting quarterback. Okay, the starting quarterback has a bum ankle. He's not going to return. Now we have to face a whole new element. I think that is normally the case with starting quarterbacks. We all expected Jaden Daniels to take a step back because now the league has film on him. He still looks as good. Well, that happened with C.J. Stroud, but maybe there's sort of a junior year slump. Maybe C.J. Stroud is in his sophomore slump just a year too late. I don't think he's on the chopping block, but I do know this. I think what's happening with Stroud this year, there are many factors involved, and I love DeMeco Ryans, but this is the cost of having a defensive head coach as your head coach. And I know Bobby Slowick is the play caller out there, and he's had some head coaching offers, but guess what? So did Lou Anarumo in Cincinnati. They were thinking, hey, man, he's a defensive coordinator. He's going to be head coach. Then Cincinnati had the year they had last year, and now and he got fired. Maybe eventually he makes his way back up. The point is, anybody can recover. I think Stroud will definitely recover, but I think they need to get a better offensive coordinator. I think they need to shore up that offensive line, and I think the Texans should be okay. Yeah.
You know what? That was probably a bad comparison by me. The situations are vastly different because C.J. Stroud did come into the league and he did play lights out.
Yes.
He had fantastic seasons. Caleb Williams just hasn't shown enough. There's no there.
I agree. I'm with you too. I don't think he's listen. I was happy for him because it's been a struggle. He got sacked 68 times last year, which was 4 less than David Carr. We all remember that famous David Carr year back in 2002 with the Texans. He was never the same after that. Like he was seeing ghosts in the pockets. I mean, it was crazy. It does not appear that that's happened to Caleb Williams, but just like Jay Blaze said earlier, you've got to be a timing and rhythm quarterback like a Jared Goff, which is why Ben Johnson got them to where they got them last year with the Detroit Lions. Say again.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say it's interesting. You can see Ben Johnson on the sidelines getting a little bit frustrated with Caleb Williams. We'll see what happens from there. Go ahead.
I would say, Caleb's he will always be compared to Jaden Daniels.
Yes.
And look at and the Texans quarterback, dude.
We don't even talk about Bryce Young anymore.
Yeah, Bryce Young is its comparison, and dude, he will always be better than him.
That is I can't remember the last time we had 2 years in a row where the second quarterback taken did better than the first quarterback taken. It was Peyton Manning, Ryan Leaf. We all saw how that went. Andrew Luck, Robert Griffin III. Luck was clearly the better quarterback. The fact that 2 years in a row, the first overall pick terrible year for Bryce Young. Terrible year for Bryce Young. Terrible year for Caleb Williams. As Captain Stransky says, all Washington fans are happy that the Bears drafted Caleb. He didn't even want to go there to begin with.
I don't understand because Caleb had all the public's adoration.
Yep.
And it just didn't make sense because Jaden Daniels is the better quarterback. And dude, if you talk to the Redskins coaching staff, they all love him. And then Caleb is getting mean mugged by his coach.
Dude, and the team, the locker room appears to like Tyson Bagent more than they do Caleb.
That's why the Bears signed him. And I think Ben Johnson wants Bagent to play because, dude, some of these when Russ was with the Denver, Russ would have a 5-yard run and get a first down, but the coach is like, dude, you had a 14-yard like pass play that was wide open, and he's not taking the right call.
Here's the thing, but between these two, Jaden Daniels did so much more than so much less. You actually had people last year. Nick Wright, I'm picking the Bears to go to the Super Bowl. That's how good the team around him was. To me, there was no excuse for Caleb Williams to have the kind of year that he had with the team he had when Jaden Daniels, I mean, dude, Jaden Daniels, it was a makeshift offense. You've got a defensive head coach. Yes, you have Cliff Kingsbury, but you had a makeshift offense. Terry McLaurin is literally your only weapon. And he finished a game away from the Super Bowl. It's incredible.
Yeah, look, Jaden Daniels was punching above his weight all year last year.
Yes, he was.
And Caleb Williams just hasn't proven that he can do that.
Yeah, and I agree. It's from the neck up.
When you have a bad team, like Caleb did last year, for example, but you have a quarterback that's this talented and supposedly this good, that quarterback will be able to put the team on his back for 1 or 2 games and will them to a couple of victories where he's the clear leader and he's the clear – alpha dog, let's call it that.
Like Jaden Daniels and CJ Stroud.
Exactly, just like they did. Caleb Williams hasn't proven that he can do that.
Not yet.
I'm going to call up Disney CEO Bob Iger. I need Mel Kiper's job. Seriously, this is all this guy does is evaluate talent. He couldn't see that this guy didn't have it. Sorry.
And I love
quarterback position.
So high on Shedeur, and Shedeur is the third stringer.
Yeah. Well, listen, we'll talk about him a little bit later. Let's go to our next topic. Joe Burrow suffered another season-ending injury. And, the interesting thing is the second injury, the injury with the wrist, that was a freak accident, okay? His rookie year, when he tore his ACL, that was because the offensive line couldn't protect him. This last injury with the turf toe, it was because the offensive line couldn't protect him. Lest we forget, there was another number 1 overall pick who took a lot of hits and ended up retiring after year 7 because he just didn't want to do it anymore, and that was Andrew Luck. I don't think Joe Burrow has that in him because Joe Burrow loves football. So now my question to you, Miami Jay, is at some point, should Joe Burrow request a trade from the Bengals?
Absolutely. I think either Joe needs to move on from the Bengals or the Bengals need to move on from Joe.
Okay.
But I think more than likely Joe Burrow needs to request a trade or a different situation. I don't know when he's coming up for contract.
He signed. He is in. He's in year 2 of a 5-year, $275 million contract. So he
needs to ask for a trade.
Okay, yeah, because he's got 3 more years left. Yeah, he's definitely gonna have to ask.
Yeah, the Bengals are not. Yeah, the Bengals are not going to move on from a super talented quarterback who's proven he can play in this league with 3 years left on his contract. They're not just going to cut him or do anything else with him. He needs to request a trade. It needs to come from him.
This man beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game in Kansas City, even though he was sacked 9 times.
Yep.
Man, he definitely needs to request a trade. What say you, Jay Blaze?
Dude, I don't get it because they're doing everything Joe Burrow wants them to do.
Okay.
They passed on Soul to pick up his best buddy wideout. Jamar Chase, when they needed offensive line help, and then they signed Higgins when you already have a wideout, and you could have traded for the shitbird that Dallas traded for. You could have easily got him.
Oh, okay.
What's his name? I always blank on his name, but that shitbird.
T. Higgins?
And that could have been your T. Higgins replacement for cheap. And you could have saved that money and signed another offensive lineman. One of the, I think the Chiefs offensive lineman.
Who ended up going to
was available. You could have got him.
Yeah.
With the money you spent on Higgins. So you clearly have with the Bengals, they're cheap and they're listening to a quarterback instead of listening to what they need to do to win.
You want to know why they listen to Joe Burrow? Is because they are a poorly run organization. You just sat here and gave us a perfectly viable trade option with T. Higgins to bolster. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. Jamar Chase, listen, the best receiver in football is Jamar Justin Jefferson Chase. 1A, whatever the case may be. That was clearly a good decision. They knew each other in college. Jamar's worth every penny. We get that.
Yeah.
T. Higgins is more of a luxury than a necessity. And I totally agree with you. They should have traded T. Higgins, man, because you trade T. Higgins, you can probably get a decent wide receiver in exchange, maybe some draft capital, and then go out and get a guy like Joe Tooney. And now you don't have your star quarterback who's making $55 million a year out with a toe injury. Dude, Joe Burrow, this is his 5th season. He's been injured in 3 of them. He's only made it through the entire regular season 40% of the time. And in 50% of seasons that he made it all the way through, he made a Super Bowl. The problem is not Joe Burrow. The problem is definitely the front office, which is why I agree with Miami J. He should definitely request a trade.
And look at the Bulls. The Bulls never listened to Michael Jordan, and there's a reason.
That's
the
right.
Charlotte Hornets are the reason or the Pelicans are the reason they never listened to Jordan, because Jordan was a tier A asset who didn't know anything about managing a team.
There you go. Listen, if I'm Joe Burrow, I don't know anything. I'm like, hey, listen, Paul, who's there? Jimmy Haslam? No, not Jimmy Haslam. I forget who their fucking owner is.
Mike Brown.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Brown. Yeah. Sign T. Higgins. Oh, okay. I'm going to sign. No. Talk to your fucking general manager. Your general manager, if he was good, would have told you, listen, I know you want to sign T. Higgins. I know Joe Burrow came up in here and said this and that and the other, but we can't do that. Here's why. This is why teams hire guys like Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman doesn't listen to the fans. He doesn't listen to anybody. He goes by his own instincts, and he does what's best for the team and not what he thinks is best for the quarterback.
As well he should.
Yes.
This is the same problem with the Giants. They go skill-based instead of trenches.
You got to build a team from the off. You got to build the team from the line of scrimmage out. The Eagles did it. The Ravens did it. The Bills did it. The only mitigating factor is having a star quarterback, a big, strong quarterback that can take advantage of that offensive and defensive line. The best teams in the NFL dominate both sides, both lines of scrimmage.
Yep.
Look at how the Giants beat the Patriots in 2007. They did it through the trenches.
Absolutely. Yeah, dude, Michael Strahan, Osi Umenyiora, Justin Tuck, and Matthias Kiwanuka. They were in Brady's face all day long. He didn't know what to do. All right, moving on to our next topic. Miami J was getting into this. Justin Herbert has sort of been talked about, not really as a bust, but a lot of his critics are saying, well, he hasn't lived up to the hype. Well, this year he's living up to the hype. He is in year 2 now with Jim Harbaugh, who probably loves Justin Herbert more than he loves his own wife, and I honestly can see why. He is having an unbelievable year. I think that the Chargers are not only going to win the AFC West, I think they go to the AFC title game, man. So here's the question. I think Justin Herbert is definitely in the MVP conversation. At this point, Miami J, is Justin Herbert elite?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's easily a top 5 quarterback, at least this year, for sure.
Jay Blaze, is Justin Herbert elite?
Yeah, he is elite, and he would have been at an elite level even earlier if they actually had a coach.
Yep.
And I still don't understand why the Chargers didn't cut
Brandon
Staley and hire
Sean Payton.
Who's the Broncos coach? He wanted to coach him. I think Herbert would even be even better under him.
I agree. I totally agree. Yeah, what I've seen from Justin Herbert, the way he's playing this year, I think this is what we expected, and I think that this is, and he's always been very, very good. He's already set a bunch of records, but I really do think at this point the sky's the limit for Herbert, man. I really do, and I think this is year 1 of it. We already discussed Micah returning to Dallas. Shedeur Sanders made headlines this week when he talked trash about his team. Oh, wait a minute, I got to go back because I didn't do the visual thing. What are you guys' thoughts about Shedeur Sanders? This is a very interesting. The Shedeur Sanders saga is very interesting. Everything from at Colorado to the draft slide. I'm still pulling for the kid, but when he says and does shit like this, man, it just kind of makes me scratch my head, man.
Yeah, you want to pull for him, but this is exactly why I said you don't draft a guy like Shedeur Sanders, because he's a distraction.
Yeah.
Now we're spending all the media and all the Browns PR people, they're spending all week talking about the 3rd-string quarterback.
Yes.
So
here's what Shedeur Sanders said at his locker earlier this week. Let me make sure I've got the volume turned all the way up here. And here we go.
That's not nothing, in my place to answer. That's nothing I can't answer. Not answer, but I know for sure I'm not. I know if you see the quarterback play in the league right now, I know I'm capable of doing better than that.
Oh boy. So he says the quarterback play in the league right now, I know I'm capable of doing better than that. Listen, I admire his confidence, but my take is that that's not some shit that you say out loud. That's not some shit you say out loud. That's the shit that you say in private, in person, or, in person with people, obviously, that you're close with. I love Shedeur, man. I really do. I think he's a good kid. And I think he's very confident, but I really, really think that he needs to stop talking. You are the third string quarterback until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
And with that take, he should have been the TCU, the scuffle.
TCU, man. I remember, I'll never forget, dude. TCU was the first team that the University of Colorado beat that sort of put everyone on notice in terms of Colorado, the University of Colorado being put on the map. Guys, I guess we'll just keep it high and tight, man. Those are all of the topics that we have for today. Final thoughts, Jay Blaze.
Cowboys are awful, and I don't even know how you fix it. Like they need a new owner, they need a new coach. They need a lot of things. They need a new GM.
Yeah, they need it. Well, Jerry Jones is the general manager. That, of course, is one of many problems. I've heard, it's funny, just listen to the sports talk this week. A lot of people are saying that they're going to set a record of the Jerry Jones cutaways. Every time the Cowboys do something good or bad, at some point or another, they put the camera on Jerry Jones in the owner's box. How many times do you think, what's the over under on the amount of times the camera shoots over to Jerry Jones?
Well, dude, he's delusional. Yeah. He still thinks they're a playoff team.
Oh my God, there's no way he thinks that, man.
Yeah, he after the game he was asked, they're still a playoff team. I'm just like, I don't know what you're looking at, Jerry. He has brainworms. He still finds them to be a playoff team. Like he has brainworms.
Yeah, he does.
Oh my God, Jerry. Oh, Jerry. All right, hey, look, man.
Can we call him the Joe Biden of football? Because
he is. Don't do that. No.
I'm going there. I went there.
Oh no. See, I like Jerry Jones, man. I do. But I can admit he is going a little senile. Like, I think a lot of people have compared this stage of his career to sort of like an Al Davis type of deal. Oh, Jerry. Miami J, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Breaking news: the Miami and New York game for Monday night has been flexed to Comedy Central. It's gonna be awful. I hope
a good one. That was a good one.
I can't take credit for it. I saw it somewhere on Instagram last week. But
oh my God, that's good. I like that. That's funny.
Is it at least in New Jersey, a dumpster state for a dumpster game?
No, it's actually in Miami.
I think it's here in Miami, but it's gonna be if we can't beat the Jets at home, bro. I mean, Mike Daniels might need to go right now. But I will say, if we don't beat the Jets, I think Tyreek Hill's going to start to ask for it now.
I think, and here's the thing. Kansas City needs receivers. Mm-hmm. Mahomes and Tyreek Hill have history.
They're going to be the first phone call.
Bro, dude. If I'm Scott Pioli, that's who I'm calling. If the Dolphins lose, if I'm Scott Pioli, that's who I'm calling. I'm calling, who is their general manager?
Jim Greer.
Hey, Jim. You're gonna be out of a job next week anyway, man. Just give them to us. That's what I do.
Yeah,
that's what I do.
Yeah. Try to get some draft capital for Tyreek, and you got to start rebuilding this team, like you said, from the middle out, from the offensive and defensive lines, and
Are the Dolphins even like a good team to go to if you're a coach? Like, is that even a number one?
Not while Jim Greer is there, honestly.
Yeah, Jim Greer, and I think Tua has so many limitations. Like, how can you protect a guy who is like a concussion away from being like having the brain injury?
Look, and honestly, I think the biggest mistake the Dolphins have made in the last 15 years was tanking for Tua and getting rid of Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill
He
won
was
his
good.
look. Even with Adam Gase as the coach,
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill won his last 20 starts in Miami.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are
he
you
was just
kidding?
injured. He was just injured.
Oh my God, I did not know that. Holy
Yeah.
shit. Dude, no wonder the Titans paid him all that money. Holy
Exactly. Ryan
crap, I did
Tannehill
not
can
know.
play, man. Ryan Tannehill won like it was like 19 or 20 starts that Ryan Tannehill had in Miami. He won them.
And never forget, Ryan Tannehill was the one who handed Brady his last loss in New England.
Yep.
He was on that. He was on that squad.
He was on that team.
I
might
think
look out. He wins games.
Yep.
That's the thing. People are looking for everybody to look pretty at the quarterback position nowadays. Everybody wants a Mahomes that's going to throw behind his back and do all these crazy things. No, you just need a guy that back there that's effective and can get the ball into the receiver's hands.
Yeah, like a Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts can beat you any way you need him.
Jalen Hurts. Justin Herbert's not a flashy guy.
Yep.
You know?
I agree.
Not everybody's a freak athlete like Josh Allen who can pound the defensive line into submission, but the guy stands back there and he delivers the ball. That's what you need.
You know who the best coach is? You know who the best coach should be? The best coach right now for the Dolphins would be Brian Flores. Brian Flores is what
Ironic,
the need. Yeah, because when Brian Flores was there, man, it took him a little while to get the ship off the ground. But you remember Miami, Jay. What did they win? Like 8 of their last 9 games or some crazy? Like they started out 1-6, 1-7, and they went on this they won like 7 out of 8 games or something like that. And then, of course, he didn't have the best bedside manner with Tua, and I understand that. McDaniel comes in, Tua likes him better, but I don't know. We'll see. They need a disciplinarian in there. I think Mike McDaniel is too caught up in sort of being the cool coach, the players' coach. My guess is that he probably doesn't crack the whip, and we're seeing the result of that on the field every Sunday.
Yeah, look,
Exactly.
we tanked for Tua. I think we need to tank for Arch Manning and pray for the best.
Okay. All right. That is going to do it for the Chop Block Sports Talk. Unfortunately for this panel, only 33% of us, 33% of the teams that we like are actually doing well. I'll let you guys do the math on that. We will see you guys next week around the same bat time, around the same bat channel. You guys take care.
Peace out.
Later.
I had to get in that extra.